there, I'm Paige, funnel strategist, conversion copywriter, and founder of The Impact Copywriter. In this video, we're going to take a critical look at a free workshop registration page. So my first impression when I landed on this page was a little bit skeptical. So it does have a bit of an amateur looking design. So it's not very clean, it's not very modern. It even could be a little spammy. It kind of reminds me of like those kind of spammy direct response sales letters and sales pages. So I'm a little bit skeptical, which is weird because it's advertising something by Todd Brown, who is a well-recognized marketer in this industry. So I was curious to why it didn't seem very on brand for the Todd Brown brand. I hopped on over to the main domain here, e5camp.com, just to see kind of what's going on over here. And you can see it looks drastically different. So this is very clean. This is very modern. It looks very trustworthy. So then I started to wonder, why would they have put together an opt-in page like this? So my best guess is either this was a quick test and they didn't really want to worry about polishing it up yet until they tested if it was going to work. Okay, I understand that. This could also be something an affiliate put together. So if they have an affiliate program, your affiliates are putting together their own marketing materials unless you provide them, and how that reflects on your brand is really entirely up to the skills of the affiliate. Let me dive into kind of the individual elements just to see kind of what we're working with here. The first thing I noticed was, of course, the visuals. For people who don't have much exposure to marketing, they don't know a lot about marketing, visuals aren't as important because they haven't had enough experience to make that connection that, spammy looking design, what a spammy looking design looks like, to make that correlation. As your audience gets more familiar with marketing, they're in more funnels, they're exposed to more offers, they get a little more sophisticated in my experience. Really pay attention to the visual impression that is kind of conveyed immediately when you land on a page to your visitors, depending on kind of, are they more experienced, do they have a bit more sophisticated expectations, or just really pay attention to what they're perceiving without even really getting into the copy here when they land on a page. Now, the second thing I noticed was the headline, which was how to get new customers every single day in any market with any product, any price point. So this is a really big idea. It's a little bit unbelievable, which makes it a good big idea. But the important thing is to realize that this does seem a bit unbelievable, especially if you're a struggling business owner and you're struggling to get clients or customers in any given month. So making that leap to every single day could be like, yeah, right, like not even worth my time. So it's important to realize that you've got to overcome those objections from the get-go. So if I'm reading that, then I might add a subhead or a little bit of copy underneath the heading that says, yeah, we know this seems too good to be true, but it is true, and we're going to show you the exact stats, we're going to show you case studies, whatever you need to say to kind of get them over that hump, because that's a big objection to taking the next step, which is subscribing, or not subscribing, but registering. Make sure you use a copy that overcomes that objections immediately. We would immediately jump in there and say, yeah, we know it sounds too good to be true, but we're actually going to give you proof. The second thing I noticed was this quiz element, which is, a good element to have if you're trying to learn about the people who are signing up for your workshop. I would consider testing putting the quiz after the opt-in, which is what Amy Porterfield does in some of her funnels. I'm going to assume here, of course, that the number one goal of this page is to get a sign up, and the info is a secondary goal. So we really want people to be on the workshop. Of course, we want the information about them if we have it. You can actually integrate that into your webinar, into your workshop. You can poll people. You can do it on the thank you page like Amy Porterfield does. Here it seems like it could get in the way of people signing up for this. So I'll just show you quickly if I click something. Let's do this one. So then we can sign up. So I would consider swapping those, putting the opt-in form first, letting them opt in, and then asking them for more info. Next, I noticed this bit of information here at the bottom, kind of designed to act more like a guarantee. This is a free service and credit card is not required. But on this page, it kind of made me feel a bit uneasy. I was already feeling a bit skeptical, and then they start talking about credit card information. It's a good idea to do guarantees to reinforce this is free, you're not going to be charged. I might consider changing the copy up a little bit or testing some different variations just because my reaction to that was a little skeptical. You might consider not talking about credit cards at all because this is a free workshop. You might say something like, after registering, we'll take you directly to the workshop or something like that to show that I'm going to get instant access. I don't know what they've learned in their customer research. If it's come up in customer research that not knowing if they need to have their credit card ready is a big pain point, then of course that makes complete sense. So you really have to look at that, measure the assumptions against what you're learning in the customer research, and then design some A and B tests to see what increases the conversion rate on this page. And the last thing I want to highlight here is this as seen on. This could be moved up on the page here because it's really there to increase credibility of the Todd Brown brand. So you'd really want it coming before the CTA. So moving it from the bottom where it's not really impacting the conversion event to before the conversion event right under the hero section. Now when I was preparing for this video and getting all the ducks in a row, so I went to their website and got redirected to what I believe is a much better landing page for this offer. So it looks to be, it may not be the same one, but it's offering a free workshop and it's for the same brand, and it is a much better example of what a clean, trustworthy, branded, modern design looks like. So I'll just briefly go through this. It's very branded. You can notice the logo up here. We have a picture of Todd Brown, which is a very professional image with him. It looks like he's probably in the middle of doing some coaching or some kind of presentation. We have nice big buttons. We have a very strong headline, learn the new accelerated method for growing a large tribe of responsive customers fast. And see on this page, this is a free workshop and no credit card is required. Because I already had this trusting feeling, I didn't have that same yucky kind of feeling when I read this as I did on the previous page, even though it's the exact same copy. That's very interesting to observe and to know that, the first impression that someone has when they land on your page, whether you're trustworthy or they're a little bit skeptical of you, kind of impacts everything else on the page. So it's a really interesting kind of observation there. And you can see we've got some testimonials that add credibility to his brand if someone doesn't know who he is. These are also very well-known names in the marketing space. And that's it. It's a really short, simple page. I would hypothesize that if you tested these two pages side by side, given that they had the same kind of message, a headline, I would bet that this will perform better simply because it has a more trustworthy feel to it. Before I wrap up here, I just want to mention that it's really important that when you're doing online marketing, especially when you're doing funnels, you have an analytics tool set up, something like Hotjar, which is what I use, so you can measure your data. You have user data on how people are interacting inside your funnel and what the conversion rate is. And then as you go to make changes to any existing funnel, you make changes using A and B split test so that you can rely again on data and not on emotions or gut feelings about what's actually increasing your conversion rate. Finally, if you'd like help planning, building, or launching your next marketing or sales funnel to attract the right leads to your business and to boost your sales, come on over to theimpactcopywriter.com and start a project discussion with me.